What's tootin', guys? So today we're gonna be talking about a little bit of a more serious topic than what we usually do on my channel, but I wanted to throw it back to my exotic dancing days. As you guys may know, I used to, a long time ago, be an exotic dancer when I used to live in Los Angeles, and I witnessed some pretty horrific things during that time in my life. I never really shared those things. I did at one point write a book about it. That book has yet to be published. I only really wrote like 1 or 2 chapters in that book about the things that I witnessed, but in today's video I wanted to talk about some of those really horrible, horrific things that I witnessed during my time working there, and a lot of those things have really stayed with me and have really impacted the way that I view the world, the way that I view relationships. They're pretty screwed up. So yeah, let's just get right into it in today's video. And is it gonna be lighthearted, fun STEPANKA content? I can't say that it will be, but you know, you guys know me. I use humor and comedy as a coping mechanism, so I'm sure I'll throw some jokes in there anyway. I guess the most common thing that I noticed, or that I witnessed when I was an exotic dancer, that most people who work as exotic dancers notice, is obviously infidelity, which is the #1 thing that messes with me to this day. Just people cheating on their significant others, and the 2 cases that really sticks out to me, 2 cases. One is a man that would frequent the club and he would cheat on his disabled wife at the club, and this one to me was honestly the most heartbreaking because in a lot of ways I really sympathized with both parties. I felt like I sympathized with his disabled wife. She suffered a stroke and she obviously couldn't really perform, and he confided in me one night after a lot of drinks and told me that he hadn't had intercourse with her in like several years. He was really heartbroken and he seemed like he was in a lot of pain, so I completely understood. But he was also kind of creepy at the same time, so I was also grossed out by him at the same time as well, because he was kind of a pervert. So there was this case which was heartbreakingly, weirdly, grotesquely sad.
Heartbreaking.
And then there was another incident that also stood out in my mind, which was one man that came in and he was with me all night. And in the beginning of the night, he seemed really nice. He seemed like a nice guy. He talked about his wife all night. And then at the end of the night, he got very handsy and aggressive with me, and I noticed that his wife started blowing up his phone and he was doing everything he could to ignore her phone calls, and eventually he asked me for a dance. And when he was with me at the lap dance booth, he got so aggressive with me and so handsy, and he was so drunk. And that was the night that that I was actually SA'd at the club, so by him. So that night really stands out very vividly in my mind, because he was obviously a creep, obviously was out at the club being unfaithful, being an awful human being, and really presented himself as like a kind, gentlemanly person who was just out with his guy friends. So really messed up, really screwed up. That was something I really frequently witnessed. Another thing that I witnessed very often, almost on a regular basis, was men showing me pictures of their kids. If I had $1 for every time that I saw a man doing this, just flipping out his wallet and showing me a picture of his kid, damn, I would have made more money than doing dances. Oh my God. I'm sorry, sir. I don't want to see a picture of your kid. I don't care. Another weird thing that I witnessed that was horrific, awful, and not my favorite thing to see: people messing themselves. Whether it be falling down, puking on themselves, urinating on themselves. When you work in the club environment, you really do start to see that people just don't know how to handle their liquor.
I'm drunk.
And it usually was the worst on the weekends. I liked working like Wednesdays and Thursdays. You'd get like just like the more chill crowd on those nights. Although it would be slower, you'd make less money, but you'd get like the less crazy crowd. And then, you know, making messes in their pants in other ways too. That was the horrific thing you didn't want to witness, but I did witness a couple times. That really just traumatized me. Men getting really aggressive with dancers, putting their hands on you, leaving marks on you. Obviously we had really good bouncers at the club that I worked at, so they obviously took care of that very quickly. Something that I personally didn't witness, but other girls witnessed that they told me about, and this happens so much in Los Angeles, which was where I worked, is girls being invited by men out of the club to hang out, and you just never seeing those girls again. And those girls ending up on the missing list. Those girls ending up murdered. That happens so much in Los Angeles, in LA clubs. Like, I personally didn't witness it in the 1 year that I worked there, but so many girls that I worked with like had first-hand experiences of it, and it freaked me and chilled me to the core. And I was asked so many times to go and hang out in hotel rooms and go to parties after work, and I turned it down every single time.
Nope.
I was asked to star in certain films. I was asked to do homemade movies, professional movies, and I turned down all of those things. I was freaked out by a lot of that stuff. I just know that I wanted to go into work, make my money, and then I had the bouncer take me from the building to my car, and the moment I got into my car, I went straight home and I didn't look back. Girls clearly being trafficked. This was another thing that I witnessed. And it was mostly the women who were younger and women who were from foreign countries. You could obviously tell they were women who were like picked up by sketchy dudes at the end of the night. You always just got that vibe that there was something going on with them. There was one girl, she was from El Salvador. There were actually a couple girls from El Salvador at the club that I believe were being trafficked. That is definitely something that I witnessed that I believe was definitely sketchy, and I feel like it goes on at so many clubs. So many girls have pimps that they give their money to at the end of each night, and I feel like it's so wrong. And I believe that pimping is something that happens not just in the strip club industry, but I actually believe it happens like in so many of these adult industries. Also, men asking me to go home with them to crush their certain body parts is another strange thing I witnessed. Also strange things, men asking me to go to certain areas of Los Angeles, dungeons and things. Basically men with like lots of money thinking that they can pay me to do anything, thinking that there is, you know, a price that they can put on pretty much anything with me, which is just simply not the case. And obviously at the club you just see a lot of drugs, a lot of drug use. It's like a very toxic, messed up environment, and one that I was very stressed out and depressed in, and I'm just so glad that I got out of that. I was there for about a year, and it sucked a lot of life out of me. Like when I got out of that environment, I felt like I aged 10 years in that 1 year that I was there. I feel like it ate me up and spit me out, and I think that I still suffer some psychological impacts from the year that I worked there. I think that some people can handle working in an environment like that, but I think that I was so sensitive and so fragile that I just couldn't handle it at all, and I still have some really serious trust issues with men after experiencing some of the things I did with men working at a club. especially the things dealing with like infidelity and seeing just how bad men can act in that sort of environment, because men just turn into a totally different monster when they're in that kind of environment. Anyway, those were just some of the things I witnessed while working as a dancer. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I know this was quite an interesting topic, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to also subscribe because I upload every single day. Also, my links will all be down below, so make sure to go check them out, and make sure to come back tomorrow for my brand new video I upload every single day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!